So we use 2 minutes to tell everyone we are alive. The name of the Lord to be glorified in Jesus' name. John, yeah, all right. So without much ado, I will be doing a brief introduction, and then we will be receiving the special guests that we have to take us in this month session. It is such a joy and such a great honor, uh, which I do not take for granted, that we have this opportunity, such a privilege. Uh, Next month will be 2 years. The conceptualization of Giltop Global Consult is this month of May. Next month will be 2 years of the webinar, the monthly webinars we have been doing. And I see somebody's emoji celebrating. It's been amazing, phenomenal. They're receiving several feedback from our friends from different parts of Nigeria and outside of Nigeria. And it's really phenomenal and amazing to see how far we have come in the journey. Today, we have a very special guest that God has prepared to bless us. Someone I respect a lot, someone that has been a long time mentor, a mentor for more than 20 years, someone I respect, someone I feel more than 26 years. And I really am delighted that we have the privilege of hosting him as our first facilitator for our global webinar. Please, can I see our emojis flying? He is a distinguished speaker, a people developer, an educator, father of 2 children. And he has been doing a phenomenal work in the youth development sector across northern Nigeria to Cross River State, to Benue State, to the Federal Capital Territory where he now resides. He is the founder of Lead Global, and he has been doing an amazing work in teacher training, in people development. He's an agricultural economist by training, a first-class material to master's level, currently finishing his PhD in agricultural policy analysis. He is currently the program manager of the Agents of Change Global Network, and he has been doing an amazing work in counseling, training, and helping schools and educators, founders, and proprietors standardize how they provide education and how educational services are provided in schools and various institutions. I am a product of his direct mentorship. I am honored and thankful to God. This is someone that has mentored me. Whatever you see me do, I learned most of it from him. And I'm really grateful that I'm really humbled and grateful that the things I have learned from him are beginning to speak at a global scale. I am really thankful I met him, and I'm really humbled to be connected to him. So we are honored to have Mr. Abraham Ogenyi. We are going to be drinking from his more than 16 years of experience in mentorship, in counseling. The first time I did a public presentation in the university, he was the one that invited me. He was the president of the Agri Students Fellowship. I just finished secondary school, and I was doing my A-levels that time, taking my IGMB program. So the first time I will address people in the university, he was the one that gave me the platform. Please, can we celebrate Mr. Abraham Ogenyi one more time? He gave me the platform to share with 500 levels, 400 level students. I was not in the university then. I was in School of Basic Studies doing my IGMB program. He has really mentored me. I was telling some core members 2 weeks ago that the shortest distance, the fastest route to rising, the quickest link you need to being at the top is to find the right person, someone who is in the system. What they will tell you, you will not find in any AI tool. You will not find it anywhere. What the insider information, what someone can give you by virtue of their experience and training, you will hardly find anywhere else. So yes, meeting him has really shortened my journey, voracious appetite for learning. Most of the mentors I follow, he introduced me to them, giving me his books to read, exposing me to the minds, great minds, rich minds, wealthy minds that mentored him over the years. And I can go on and on and on. Many first times of my life are connected to him, not just the first time of having a platform to speak to people at the university, but many of my first times are connected to him. I was to go for a competition as a primary school boy, no, early junior secondary school. And I told him, this competition I cannot, I don't think I can go. It's tough, it's hard, it's this. He just has a way of believing in me. Go and there's nothing in this, you will finish it, you will. It's wonderful. You can earn a living believing in people. He's a believer. He's someone that believes in people, develops people, and helps them to grow. When I went for this School of Basic Studies IGMB program, people were feeling IGMB. It was very difficult. 18 months, and then you go 200 level directly in university. But this 18 months, when I went there, I said, what brought me to this IGMB? What brought me here? Someone called me and was counseling me. In fact, a pastor of one of the church said, we are sorry, we don't want you to waste your parents' money. This school offers diploma program, NC programs. Just 36 of you doing IGMB against thousands that are offering the other programs. The lecturers are not even as motivated. Why not just switch and just think of, but when I told him that this IGMB is very difficult, they are not even taking the program seriously in the school anymore. He said, there's nothing there. He tell me there's nothing there. You can do it. You can. Please help me celebrate Mr. Abraham again. He's a real believer in people. Most of the people he mentored are really flying high and doing great and amazing things across the nations. And I'm really delighted. I eventually finished that HMB with a record-breaking result, 12 points out of 15 points in total. That was the best for that year. And for many years in the sciences, and got the 200 level directly to study pharmacy. It was a miracle. But that's the power of what faith can do. When you find people who believe in you and they make impossibility look like nothing, you will scale heights. I tell you, you will scale heights. 2 admissions, 200 level pharmacy, 200 level microbiology, first batch, first choice, second batch, second choice. I had to choose what I wanted. And it's been like that. When I went to pharmacy, he gave me counsel. If your colleagues come to you, teach me this, don't say no. They believe you know it before they came to you. That counsel has changed my life forever. Most of the things I know by teaching others. People see me, they come, they believe I know it. I remember the counsel he gave me, and I don't hold knowledge. I'm not stingy with what I know. I flow like a river, and it makes me not to stink. The more you give, the more it flows. The more the law of abundance that's really opened my mind to possibilities. I'm telling you, most of the things, platforms, opportunities that have come by the law of contribution, contributing value, offering value, making genuine, meaningful impact in the lives of people by being very supportive in any way I can with whatever I know and whatever opportunity I have. I owe that to him. I can go on and on, as I said. Let me let you hear him for yourself. So without much ado, please let me see your emojis flying as you join me and help me celebrate. Celebrate, please. Let me see your celebrations as we welcome Mr. Abraham Ogenyi as he takes us in this month's special edition of our Giltop Global webinar, which is now also known as our African Youth Mentorship Webinar. Honored, we have participants across several nations: Sierra Leone, South Sudan, Nigeria. We have our friends from the UK and the rest of them. It's a delight and a joy to welcome you all. I hope you have a great time. Thank you so much. The floor is open for you, sir. You're welcome.
Thank you, Moses. Please, if you can hear me, fly an emoji just to confirm that you can hear me. All right, thank you, Manuel Ali. All right, hope everyone can hear me. All right, thank you, David. Thank you. All right, so thank you. I'm delighted to be here this evening. Thank you all. Thank you. I, my pleasure and privilege, singular honor, to be taking this, facilitating this webinar tonight. Believe that God is going to help us at the end of the webinar. We would have something to take home. Thank you, my dear brother Moses. You've been a very good mentee. I'm proud of you. Very, very proud of you, seeing the things you are doing and how God is helping you. Thank you so much for being a blessing to your generation. I pray that God keeps strengthening you in the name of Jesus. Can I share my slide?
Please, you can. Yes, sir. Yes,
All
please.
right. Okay, thank you. So please, just a moment. Let me share my slide with us. Okay. Okay. Can you see the slide?
Yes, we can see it, sir. Yes, we can.
All right. Hey, thank you. So we're discussing this evening beyond your degree, how curiosity and lifelong learning drive career success. Under the African Youth Mentorship webinar, my name is Abraham Ogenyi. Moses has done all the introduction just to save time. I wouldn't do any further introduction of myself. Just say one thing. I want to say I appreciate every one of you who have been following this webinar series. That's the path to greatness. And some of you may be attending this for the first time. You are also welcome. You are not losing out on anything, or you are not missing out on anything. You are doing yourself good. Keep sowing the seed. With time, in due course, it will bring forth the desired fruit. So thank you for your efforts in attending this webinar. So we're looking at beyond your degree, how curiosity and lifelong learning drive career success. Let's proceed to look at our sorry, just a moment. Sorry, I'm trying to move the slide. I'm wondering why the slide is not moving. Please permit me to reshare. Sorry, just give me a moment. Let me sort this out. Okay. Just a moment, please. Let me reshare my slide. I couldn't move the slide after sharing the share. Okay, thank you. I'm wondering why the slide is not moving after sharing. Oh, please, sorry. May have to I may have to share the other to share my entire screen. Okay. Sorry, please. Let me share my screen. Okay. So I think we should be good to go now. So we're looking at this. So please, can you see the screen? My screen.
Yes, we can, sir.
Okay, thank you. So the table of contents, we'll be looking at the introduction. Number two, an era of rediscoveries and redefinitions. Number three, how to self-educate. Number four, the billionaire's habit. Then we'll be looking at why learn beyond your degree, aspects of self-education or dimensions of self-education, then taking responsibility, and then we will summarize. I'll try to be as fast as possible as the slides are many. So to begin, now we are looking at beyond your degree, how to learn for life and to be relevant. The illiterate of the future are not those who can't read or write, but those who cannot learn, unlearn, and relearn. This statement was made by Alvin Toffler about 56 years ago, around the year 1970, thereabout. And there is no time when this statement is relevant than when we are, than now. You know, the when Alvin Toffler made this statement, that era, that was like around the industrial trying to transit to the computer age. You know, it didn't really look like this statement was very relevant then, but now the statement is very, very relevant. So this will form the foundation of our introduction. So let's look at it more. Introduction, the new literacy in a fast changing world. Firstly, in a fast changing world, survival would depend less on traditional literacy. Survivor would depend less on traditional literacy alone, and survivor, sorry, in a fast changing world, survivor would depend less on traditional literacy and more on adaptability. So you are not going to survive only based on, when we say traditional literacy, it means, you know, your degree, the conventional university, college of education, polytechnic, monotechnic you attended, but it's going to be more on adaptability. So what we're going to be discussing tonight is more about adaptability. Now, number two, a person who refuses to adapt may struggle, even if highly educated traditionally, because we live in a fast changing world. If you are not ready to adapt, it will become very difficult to fit into the world we are in. Please note that the world we are in is a dynamic world. The world is dynamic. The world is moving. The world is shifting. So inability to adapt would lead to serious trouble. They get you outdated. Thirdly, there's urgent need to acquire new knowledge and skills. Let go of outdated assumptions or methods, continuously update oneself for new realities. So the need to acquire new knowledge and skills is very urgent. Just like what the Bible says in the book of Daniel, I think Daniel chapter 12, verse 3, thereabout. The Bible says in the later times, knowledge will increase. And the way knowledge is increasing is like with the speed of light. Where we are now, you'll be surprised in the next 2, 3 years where we will be. Some of the things we know now will have been outdated. So it is very, very there's an urgent need to acquire new knowledge and skills in order to be able to maintain relevance in this time. Then number four, literacy is no longer only about reading and writing. True literacy includes adaptability, curiosity, and continuous learning. So literacy has been redefined. It's no longer limited to reading and writing. One can know how to read and write and yet be an illiterate based on Toffler's statement. So literacy is no longer just limited to learning within the four walls of school, but it is about your adaptability, curiosity, and continuous learning. Then, fourthly, or fifthly, life is a continuous school, and each day brings new lessons. There's no graduation from this learning experience. You might have graduated from the university, from College of Education, from the Polytechnic or Monotechnic, but I tell you, life itself is a school, and there is no graduation. So we have various ways of learning, and whoever is not open to learning, such a person will definitely expire. Then number six, finally here, those who succeed are often not the people who know the most today, but those who can continue learning tomorrow. So those who succeed are not just the people who know the most today, because what you know today can become outdated tomorrow. That is the truth. But those who are ready to continue learning are the ones who will succeed in the times that we are in. So what this introduction is saying generally is that there's need for flexibility. There is need to be open to adapting new technology. Don't be a laggard. Don't be a late adopter when every other person has adopted and moved on. And you may find yourself, at the end of the road and you may become isolated. So as so let's proceed to the era of rediscoveries and redefinitions. So we are in an era of rediscoveries and redefinitions, the evolving nature of knowledge. So knowledge is evolving. That is what we need to do. Knowledge is not stagnant. Knowledge is not stagnant. Knowledge is evolving. So what are some of the redefinitions and rediscoveries that we have seen over time? And there are lots of them, lots of them. For example, we see the theory of revolution of the earth. Before now, we're told that the earth, the earth revolves around the solar system. But today, thanks to Galileo, who discovered, and Kepler, that no, the earth does not actually revolve, but the sun. The solar, sorry, not the solar system doesn't revolve around the earth, but the earth revolves around the solar system. So this belief was held that the solar system revolves around the earth for over 1,000 years. So you can see that those who went to school then were taught in the four walls of class. Within that period, they lived with that knowledge, and only to later discover that it's the earth that revolves, not the solar system. Secondly, is the shape of the earth. We're told before that the earth was flat, but later discovered that the earth was not flat, but the earth is spherical in shape. The elements were told of early learning, early discoveries, found out that there were four elements. The four element theory, water, the earth, fire, and the air also. But today, in modern chemistry, we find out that we have much more than that, thanks to Mendeleev. And, previous finding tells us that ulcer was being caused by stress, but today we know better that ulcer is caused by bacteria. Previous finding tells us that atom was indivisible, the indivisibility of atom. But today we see that, the subatomic particles, neutrons, electron, proton, those of you who studied chemistry or in medical related courses, You can attest to this. Previously, early findings made us to know that diseases were caused by bad air or foul smell, which is called miasma. But today we get to know better that diseases are caused, majorly by germ. Thank God for Louis Pasteur and others who contributed to this and changed the face of medicine. We have lots of redefinition, like the Newtonian physics, and we have also the Albert Einstein's theory of relativity. Newton did a very great work, but today Albert Einstein's work toppled that of Newton. Even though Newton's findings, law of gravity, and all of that are still relevant, but Albert Einstein took that forward. Newton made us to know that time was absolute. But when Albert Einstein did his finding, so that time was actually relative. So many things have been redefined and rediscovered. For example, work. Even the way we define work before, you go to a place, you do work and all of that. Today, work is not limited to a place. Today we have remote work, we have hybrid kind of work. Market before, definition of market was a place where exchange of goods and services happen. Today, market is not just a place. Market is an arrangement. Market is a system. Market can happen online. Market can happen over the phone. So we can see lots and lots of redefinitions, that have happened over time and rediscoveries. So this tells you that holding on to just your university degree, is dangerous for the times that we are in. Now, proceeding further, how can we self-educate? There are several ways we can self-educate. We can self-educate by reading books. Reading remains the cornerstone of self-education. So this is one of the core. That was how we started. Remember, Moses started very early. We started reading books. Our father had some books, even though our father, wasn't well, in the sense of reading and writing, he was literate, was a soldier, but he was not very schooled. But he had some books. I remember then Jimmy Swaggart and the rest of them. They used to send books, from abroad, from the United States of America. They used to mail books to them. So the books were just there, we're reading. That was how we started. And thank God for where we are today. So one of the ways you can self-educate key is to read books. Read books. I don't know how much I can emphasize this, but we'll talk about it as we proceed in, subsequent slides. Now, journaling is very important. And sure, journaling facilitates reflection, documentation of insight, and tracking of intellectual growth over time. Get a pen, get a book, or if you can use your phone to, write down. It is very, very important. Write down things, write down lessons, write down experience, the negative experience, the good experiences, journal your day, plan your day, write, and write. As you read book, write lessons you are learning from the book. This is very, very important. It's unfortunately, there's a saying that says if you want to hide something from, you know, a black man, you put it in writing. But I think those days are changing. It is changing. And the good thing is that we don't just have hard copy books today. We have ebooks. We have ebooks. Most of the books I read today, they are ebooks. They are ebooks. Sometimes I have to delete some of them from, my phones, the ones I no longer need. I have to delete them just to create space for others. Hundreds of books. You can have thousands of books, stored in your phones or stored in the cloud. So journal, so write down as you read, write down as you relate with people, write down as you relate with your mentor, write down experiences, learnings, and everything that has to do with your life. You will need them. There's a saying that says the faintest ink is stronger than the strongest memory. So number 4 is personal experience. Learning from daily experience turns daily life into practical classroom. See every day as a classroom. Life, we say generally, is a school. So each of your day is a classroom, is a learning experience for you. So there are no experiences that are irrelevant as so long as our lives are concerned. Even from mistakes, we can learn from mistakes. Whatever happened to you or around your life, um, one of the questions you should ask, Lord, what are you teaching me from this experience? What are you teaching me? So the first thing should be, what are you learning? What is God wanting you to learn? So your personal experiences matter a lot. You write down things you are learning on a daily basis, mistakes made, how the mistakes were addressed, and all of that. Others experience also treat every interaction as an opportunity to acquire new perspectives. When people share their experiences with you, learn, ask questions as much as possible. The experiences may be positive, the experiences may be negative, but just ensure that you make those experiences your learning point. I've learned from so many people's experience. This now it shows that you need listening skill when it comes to other people's experiences. You need listening skill, the ability to be able to listen as people share their experiences. Sometimes they may not even share their experiences. There are people that you may be with, and God will just reveal their lives to you. They are having experiences around you. They may be your friends, they may be members of your family. Somebody just had an experience, and you don't want to have such an experience. Or it may be a good experience which you desire. It may be an experience that you know firsthand with the person. You knew this person, you knew when this person had this experience. So you can also learn from this. Courses and certifications, access relevant courses and certifications that can supplement formal education. You go online, there are lots of certification within your field, outside your field, things that we know that are trending, very, very relevant areas. Ensure you do them. I've done several certifications. I'm still doing them. I'm still doing them. Still reading, still, studying, still learning the, new skills. Please, let's do this as much as possible. Don't be a conservative. Don't be stiff when it comes to acquiring knowledge. Be flexible. Soft. It's not all the certification you pay for. There are some you can get for free. Go to Sailor Academy, sailor.org. You'll see courses here, free courses, professional courses, organizational communication. You see courses of project management courses, operations management. You see HR courses. You can get these courses for free. There's this World Quant University, WQU. World Quant University does a master's degree for free, masters in financial engineering. They do data analysis course for free. When I say free, I mean free. And these are institutions where you can learn new skills, new real advanced and new skills. So this is very important. Courses and certifications. If you need paid ones, some courses that are relevant to you, you want to pay, there are paid courses. This is an area to invest. Very, very important. Then we have professional mentorship. This is important also. Mentorship accelerates learning by providing actionable advice and accountability, which is crucial for sustained growth. Please, if you are still here, fly an emoji. Let's know that you are here. Professional mentorship. Professional mentorship accelerates learning by providing actionable advice and accountability, which is crucial for sustained growth. Look for someone around your area of profession, your area of interest, and submit for mentorship. I know that there are free mentorship. It's not all mentorship that is paid. There are people you admire in your area. You can relate with them, submit to them. You can have one-on-one personal mentorship. You can relate with people's materials. There are people, that can mentor you, not by their presence, but by their track record. You can study their books. You can study their books. If they have videos on YouTube, you can listen to them. You can also gain some mentorship experience. You can also gain some professional experience from their work. So this is very, very important. So, proceeding, the billionaires have it. Want to look at these men, Jeff Bezos, we have Elon Musk, we have Bill Gates, we have Mark Zuckerberg, and so many of them. These are billionaires, people whom God has helped and God is helping them. They have made impact, they've touched the world in one way or the other. So, what is one thing that is their secret? Now, when we look at these men, the billionaires' learning habits, one of the things that is common with these men is that they read. They are learners. They are lifelong learners. Look at their ages. Look at these elderly men. You identify them with books. If you type Bill Gates, you want to see most of his pictures, photos you get online are with books. Is that he's reading a book? Is that he's showcasing books? Look at what he said. Bill Gates reportedly reads a new book each week, averaging about 50 books a year, despite his busy schedules. This is a man, who is a founder, this is a pioneer when it comes to ICT. Bill Gates is a pioneer, has employers everywhere, all over the world, employees, sorry, all over the world, and has touched lives. Every one of us have been touched. His vision is to have, his product, a computer in every home, every home. And today, I tell you, whether you like it or not, that vision is being realized. Even the phones we use, we have Microsoft Windows. We have Windows in our phones, in our laptops. We have Windows. We have his software in our phones, other devices that we use, our tabs. We use his product. So he has, whether you like it or not, that vision has been fulfilled. But he's a man of books. He's a man of books. He reads a new book each week. His vision, and for averaging about 50 books a year, despite his busy schedule. How about Warren Buffett? Warren Buffett is one time the richest, the richest man, on earth, even though he has been toppled, but he's very notable, in the business world. He spends over 80% of his day reading, consuming between 600 and 1,000 pages daily when he started his investing career. And he's still reading. You can see at this age, he's still holding book and reading with his glasses. These men cannot expire. They are men that will be relevant in every generation because they always learn to self-educate. And when we look at Barack Obama is renowned for being a voracious reader. He's been described as the most reading influenced president since Abraham Lincoln. After Abraham Lincoln, according to findings, that Barack Obama is the second most reading influenced president. Read, I know he's a writer too. He's also a writer. He's a very good writer, but it stems from reading. And no wonder, there's a saying that says readers are leaders. We see these men, they are leaders in their various sphere. And one of the things that made them was because they read, they learn. Now we see Elon Musk, an avid reader. And when asked how he learned to build rockets, he said, I read books. Elon Musk said, I read books. So Elon Musk is an avid reader also. You can see him with a book. He's also an author. He's a reader and a writer. These men, you'll be wondering, what do they need? Is it more money? No, they have money already. They've made money. God has helped them. But these men are still reading in order to maintain relevance, in order to be updated there. You wonder whose books are they reading? See, there are books and there are books for every generation. And you must understand the books. And when we say reading, you don't just read anyhow. You need to understand the book that speaks to the season where you are. You need to understand the book that meets your need. I read, but it's not every book I read. Per time, you need to understand the book, that you need for the next phase of your life. And that is what these men actually do. We have here Mark Zuckerberg committed to reading a book every 2 weeks throughout, 2015, and he's still reading. Look at their newborn baby, Quantum Physics for Children. Is a book. He's even introducing his newborn baby to reading. So these are people who understand. And when you check lots of these men, some of them dropped out of the university because of the passion of what they were called to do. Mark Zuckerberg, for example, Bill Gates, some of them dropped out of school, even though at some point, they later have to go back and then complete what, they couldn't complete. Some of them dropped out. But skills, lifelong learning is what has made them relevant. So if you are talking about the four walls of the university, what they have learned in the four walls of the university is not what has made them relevant, but their adaptability, ability to adapt is what has actually kept these men going. So see this finding by Business Insider. A study of 1,200 wealthy people, as reported by Business Insider, found that they all share reading as a common pastime. This research revealed that the rich tend to self-educate through reading. And I tell you, the summary of this research is actually is mind-blowing. That a key major difference between the poor and the rich is the ability to read books, the ability to self-educate and to learn. So this is a finding by Business Insider. 1,200 wealthy people, you know, who were studied, was discovered that one common thing among them was reading, was knowledge updates. And I said it must not be hard copy book, but just ensure you read relevant contents that speak to your life at the moment, and contents that also speak to where you are going. So why learn beyond your degree? Number one is for global relevance. You want to be globally relevant. There are people that cannot be relevant beyond their immediate community because they've actually not invested in themselves. There are teachers that teach in a school. They can't even teach beyond their own school, but can you be so relevant that you can be in Nigeria and be teaching students abroad? So if you must be relevant, you must be ready to learn beyond your degree. This degree we are talking about, even the school's curriculum has changed. It changes from time to time. For every one of us here, between when you finished secondary school and now, do you know how many times they've updated the curriculum? When I see some of the things my son is learning now, I'll just be amazed, because there were some things the boy is learning now, things he knows. He's just in nursery too, you know. Some of those things when I was in secondary school, maybe junior secondary school, I didn't know them, but at his level now, nursery two, he already knows them. Nursery one, nursery two, they can read now. So the world is really changing. So if you want to be globally relevant, you must learn beyond your degree. Number two, emphasis on modern skills over degree. There's an emphasis now on modern skills over degree, and this is very common now in the Western world. It is in this climb that we tend to emphasize degree, but I tell you, we are getting there also. If you check some of the, jobs, some of the international jobs and all of that, you'll be surprised to see high paying job in dollar. They are not emphasizing degree in this area. Their primary focus is the skills that you have. So the world is shifting from emphasis on degree to emphasis on skill. So if you are here, you are an undergraduate, please, as you school, no matter the course you are reading, ensure that you also learn the skill, no matter the course. Gone are the days when they say, medicine is is the most what called medicine, pharmacy, most lucrative courses. We will need them, of course, but I tell you, you still need to update. You still need to upskill. You know that knowledge is common to get now. Knowledge is common to get. Knowledge is common. There are people that don't go to hospital again. They just consult online and they get what they want. So we need to really upskill. So there's emphasis, so much emphasis on skill now over degree, especially in the West, and gradually it is creeping down here. What can you do rather than what do you have? So they are not looking at the hard copy that you have, degree, but what can you offer? Then thirdly, staying ahead in a rapidly evolving career landscape. In order for you to be able to stay ahead, in order for you to be able to survive the competition, it's like the survival of the fittest where we are now. In order for you to stay ahead in this rapidly evolving career landscape, you need to learn beyond your degree. Then number four is to foster leadership opportunities to drive meaningful change. If you don't stretch yourself, you will not be able to influence change. To be able to influence change, you need to be a leader. You need to be strategically positioned. And in order for you to be strategically positioned to be able to influence change in high places, there is need for you to go, beyond your degree. What can you bring to the table? What can you offer? It's very important. Competence, and continuous learning, just building capacity. Somebody may say, I have been doing all these things, but it's not paying off. Keep building. One day, an opportunity will come that will shift you, to that next level. So we need to learn beyond degree in order for us to be able to foster leadership opportunities and to drive meaningful change. Then finally here, there are so many reasons to reduce economic vulnerability by creating multiple streams of income. When what you are doing becomes irrelevant, what can you do? We see this example during the COVID-19, period. Lots of people lost their jobs. People actually suffered. But other people, it became, they said the same fire that melts the candle hardens that melts the wax, hardens the clay. You know, so for some other persons, it became an opportunity to rise. I knew several people who lost their jobs then, and it wasn't easy for them. I knew people who were doing very well and crashed just within that 1 year of lockdown, but some other people remained relevant. So what can you do? What can you do to reduce economic vulnerability? Don't just hold on to one thing. You learn beyond your degree so that if this one doesn't work, you have plan B, you have plan C, you have several alternatives. You have other things you can do. I was discussing with a friend in Abuja here. He's a civil servant. He works with yeah, he's a civil servant in Abuja. So he was telling me, he says, see, I don't just sit down in the office, just sit down. I have to do other things because to pay my bills, imagine paying light bill of like 120,000 in a month. Aside you are still buying fuel for generator, fuel in your car, aside the school fees of the house rent and all of that, which his salary cannot foot. So he needs to go extra mile. And this has to do with learning. This has to do with building capacity to be able to, have multiple streams of income and not to become economically vulnerable. Are you still here? Please fly an emoji if you are still here. What are the dimensions of learning as we gradually bring this webinar to a close and take questions and responses? We have technological and digital skills. This is very, very important. This is very important, especially in these days of hybrid work, remote work, technological skills, digital skills. You don't even need to go too far. Learn basically how to use the computer, how to solve the web, then how to use some tools like AI tools. These things are not difficult. You know how to use the computer. I was discussing with a brother, he's a youth leader in my church, and he was telling me that he works with Nigeria now, National Open University of Nigeria, and he told me lots of core members come to serve with them, and it's so funny that many of them cannot even use the computer. See, lots of the core members, and I was like, what? This 21st century, when emphasis is highly on technology and digital skills, then a lot of them can yet not use the computer. I don't know how far you want to go. Even in that school, they write their exams online. Lots of universities today, are already teaching online. Even public universities, they teach online. Sometimes when the semester starts, they begin. So even lecturers are adapting. Students too are adapting. Do a lot of online learning and all of that. So you need to get technological skills. This was what sustained some persons during the lockdown. Those who had these technological skills, teachers who had technological skills were still relevant. During lockdown, they were still teaching students online and making their money. Churches, that embraced digital and technological skills, were still doing their services online. Some churches locked down that period. No fellowship, no contact, maybe except through phone call. But others were still meeting online, because they embraced these technological and digital skills. So this is very, very important for us. Look at the okay, let me just proceed. Now, communication skill. Communication skill is important, both written communication, oral communication, your ability to be able to talk to people. This is very, very important. This is not easily replaceable. Even though AI can do a measure of communication, but the communication, AI communication is not like that of humans. AI can, today AI conducts interview and all of that, but there's no interaction. It's just straight. It's just a program. But when you talk of real communication, when you interact with people, it's humans that do it. So learn communication skill, learn to communicate, learn to teach, learn to talk to people, learn to write email, good email, learn to write, communicate via writing, and learn to communicate verbally. This is very, very important. Customer relationship skills and all of that. Then critical thinking and problem solving skills. These are areas we also need to learn. What problem can you solve? How useful, how helpful will you be, to a particular organization? Are you the type that can think out strategies or solutions immediately? Are you the type that is very, it takes you a long time to be able to think out challenge. You are rather compounding the problem rather than creating solution. Just ensure you use analytical thinking, use your mind, stretch your mind, to see what solution can I bring to the table. You are getting a new job. The money is not the attraction. How can I be of relevance? How can I be of a help? How can my being here enhance the progress of this organization? And during interview, these are the kind of questions lots of organizations will ask you. Emotional intelligence skills. This is important, you know, because we are in a world where there are a lot of shocks, lot of shocks. A brother told me when he got a job with General Electric, he said he had like 5 interviews or more. Said one of the interviews he was on transit when they called him, he was like war, just attacking him here, left, right, and center. But they were testing his emotional intelligence. A sister, one of my former colleagues, went for an interview, and the way they tested her emotion, she cried. She didn't know when she started weeping. Before the interviewers, she cried. She couldn't bear emotionally. She was shaken, and she when she was telling me, I was just laughing. She had to cry. They made her to cry. But funny enough, she got the job. They later called her for the job, but she couldn't go. Because imagine a job where they made you cry during interview and just what that was just emotional intelligence they tried to test. So this is important. Your ability to be able to bear things, your self-control, patience, your resilience ability. This is important. Then character development. This is also very important. An area where I can't overemphasize this. You may have competence, but if you don't have character has to do with credibility and trust. Before people accept your work, they first accept you. Yeah, they must have tested your credibility. So be a credible person. Let your yes be yes, your no, let your no be no. You can easily develop skills, competence, but character over time. So your character is built every day by your relationship with people. You tell somebody, I'll call you back, and you don't call the person back. You are building character. So just ensure that you are a credible person. You are intentional about being a person of character. For a lot of organizations, beyond the skills, they are looking for character. There's a saying that says education can take you to the top, but it is only character that can sustain you there. So please be a credible person. Be a person that is trustworthy. Someone that if your boss is traveling, he can comfortably say, see, be in charge. Just take charge of this organization. And you don't compromise. You are not the type that today you say yes, tomorrow you say no. You are not the type that can easily bend. You are a person of high moral standing, a person of integrity. So this is very, very important. There are several other skills you can learn. Remote work. Learning remote work too is a skill that should be learned. During the COVID-19, some persons I know somebody, a brother, who actually lost a job because he couldn't cope with remote work. That discipline to work without being supervised when you are not in the four walls of the office, he didn't have it and he lost out. So you need to learn that ability to work remotely. You are looking, you got job with an international firm. The world we are now, you don't need to travel abroad to work abroad. You can be anywhere and be providing solutions to people, in other parts of the world. So this takes discipline. It takes discipline to be able to do that. So these are some dimensions of learning. The facilitator mentioned some of these the last time, the last month webinar. So what are your responsibilities now for you? Number one is to read a book today. Somebody may say, look at how far I've gone. If you are following the channel, Moses' channel, the Giltop channel, you see today's inspirational quote. Put a photo there, like a chart of, photos of several people who started like almost late. Humans will call it starting late, but to God, they didn't start late because they were ready to adapt, and they became successful even in their old age. At 40, at 50, you can start. So read a book today. Identify a relevant book. If you don't know where to start, you don't have book, you don't know the book to read, you can reach out to the host of this webinar, Pharmacist Moses. You can ask him to guide you. I know he has some books. He's an author also. He can help you with books to read, relevant book. He can guide you on how to get some of them. Document your learning in a journal. Get a book, get a pen, If it's your phone, sometimes you may be comfortable using your phone like at night on your bed, ideas are coming. You should be able to note them down. This is very, very important. Lot of the things I do today, the ideas I write down, I write and I go back, and I make reference to them to be able to use them. They are relevant to me, but they are things I've noted down, several, maybe months ago, or for as long as possible. Just write it somewhere. Keep writing your thoughts. These things will be useful one day, then enroll in a course and learn a skill. Enroll in a course, go to the internet, surf, the web. You see some free courses. I've told you where to get some of them. Do that. Begin right away. Identify and submit to a mentor, professional mentor, somebody that will guide you, somebody who is successful in his field. God is helping him, is determined, somebody who is competent and credible. He's not just competent, but he's credible. You have observed this person's track record. You have observed his level of consistency over time. Identify such a person and submit. Don't be ashamed. Maybe your younger one, maybe somebody you are older than. But God is helping this person. He has the network. Just submit to mentorship. Learn. Listen. When you are learning, write. When you are before your mentor. Someone said something. I think it was Nelson Mandela. I said, when you are before a great person, is a listen more than you talk. You don't talk about yourself. You don't talk about yourself. Listen, learn from them. Then document your progress. Ensure you document your progress. Like by the end of this year, how did I start the year? We are approaching the middle of the year. What's your vision for the year? As we are approaching the middle, you can take stock. As the last 6 months of this year, how far have I gone? If you documented your vision, what and what have I been able to achieve? You tick them. What are the ones I've not yet achieved? You tick them, and you put one or two together and you pursue them. Then the best time to start is actually now. It is not tomorrow. Procrastination, they said, is a thief of time. It's not just a thief of time, it's a thief of life, because life is measured by time. So ensure that you start now. Start now. Start now. A lot of the things we are talking about, they are things that you can learn on your own. That's the good thing about this generation, the digital skill and everything. There are a lot of things you can learn on your own, even without being taught. So please, this is our action plan for this webinar tonight. So take it. Somebody may say, I've been doing. The man who, the founder of Zoom, it was in 2020 that he actually blew. Zoom existed before then. 2019, as at 2019, they had like 10 million users per day. By 2020, 300 million plus users per day. He didn't know a season will come, there will be a disease outbreak that will lead to, that will lead to that kind of breakthrough he had. So just keep building capacity. That day called payday is coming. My pastor preached a message when we were very young. He said, payday is happy day. So keep building capacity. So in summary, the core message is that adaptability, curiosity, and continuous learning are the true drivers of career success in the modern era. Please take note of this. These are our three emphases tonight: adaptability, curiosity, and continuous learning. These are the true drivers of career success in this modern era. Traditional degrees are merely the starting point, not the finish line. And one of the things you need to know is that most of the times what we study may not be what we end up working. Your discipline may not end up becoming your career. You may study one course. I know a brother is a friend, very a close friend who read business administration, but today is an aircraft engineer. Studied business administration, went to School of Aviation, studied aircraft thing, and today he's an aircraft engineer. Just relocated to Germany with his family this year with, and a German airline he's been working with for years, more than 10 years now. So this year he was promoted and just got relocated from Nigeria. He studied business administration. So, and that is why you don't need to be tied to your degree. What you studied in the university may not end up being what you work with. The university is good, it gives you exposure, gives you knowledge, it teaches you how to network and relate with people. But at the end of the day, I tell you, what you do may be quite different from what you actually studied in university. And that is why continuous learning is important, and flexibility. Then ultimately, embracing a mindset of continuous learning allows individuals to thrive amidst uncertainty. See, we are in a tough time. We are in a very, what the Bible calls this period perilous times. I tell you, we are in the period where it's like the survival of the fittest. If you are going to school to get a job in one organization, I tell you, no, I talk to core members, I talk to those serving now, I talk to undergraduates. When I speak to them, I tell them, see, begin to think outside the box. Don't think jobs. If when we were in the university, we had such orientation and understanding, possibly we wouldn't have been where we are today. Begin to think outside the job. Don't limit yourself to becoming an employee to somebody. What can I do? What solutions can I create? Begin to look for problems to solve. Don't be looking for job to work under somebody. No matter the amount of money you earn by working, I tell you, it's never enough. Think of how to raise other people, how to have employees, how to empower other people, how to solve problems. When you solve problems, the resources will come, people will pay you. So by committing to growth, one can transform challenges into opportunities for advancement. So please, again and again, commit yourself to growth. Commit yourself to lifelong learning. Be curious, be hungry for knowledge. And when I say knowledge, I mean relevant knowledge. Relevant knowledge. Ensure you follow the trend, the way the world is going. No matter how born again you are, maybe a Christian, no matter how born again, see, if you don't position yourself, you will be left behind. Please update yourself so that you not become outdated. Be inspired to keep learning so that you will not expire. And please keep reading. Just keep your mind sharp. Keep your mind working. Let your mind not go to sleep, and the sky will not be your limit. Thank you. If you have questions, we can take them, or comments. Thank you. The slides are many, so I was being fast so that I won't be left. All right, for Moses, over to you, sir. So we can take questions and
Keep the
comments.
celebrations coming. Keep it coming. Keep it coming. Keep it coming. Wow. What a profound, profound session we've had. Oh my God. Oh my God. I'm even short of words. I'm short of words. We would like to take questions. Very importantly, we cannot miss out on this opportunity. We have a mentor in the room. We have a senior mentor, someone that his experience has really, really been a blessing to us tonight. And we want to take advantage of that. I can see Ali from Sierra Leone. All right. I'll give you time later, Ali. I can see you and Kamara, as well as a few of our other friends. Thank you for joining. But let's begin with questions first. If you have a question, can you drop in the comments or put up your hand so that we can give you the opportunity? Anybody? You have a question you want to ask? I would, the issue of reading, updating ourselves and reading. People tell you they are busy, and they are distracted. I have a few questions I would like to read out. We would like to have strategies for effective to build a solid reading habit. We know one of the problems this generation has is digital distraction, and it's a problem for everybody that people are beginning to find it very difficult to read. So how can a young professional build a solid reading habit? How can a busy young professional, as we are all busy with activities, create time, make time, structure out time for effective personal reading, where you are no longer motivated by the grade? I don't want to fill this course. I don't want to carry over this course, as they used to say. I don't want to pay for an extra year. That was a form of motivation that pushed some of us to do what we should do. But now we are out. We are in the real classroom of life. And then the motivation is now very, very low, and it's no longer like we have to read. It's just people now are now in the survival mode. We have to look for money. And as you have said, the strategy of knowledge, growth, and continuous development is how we generate value. So the question is simply, how can we build a solid reading habit? And I can see a question from Ali Tamba. Ali Tamba is joining us from Sierra Leone and is asking about if learning have, you can see that one from the comment section, does learning have limited time or not? Maybe it has to do with age, if there's age limit to learning. So you can start with these two, sir. Then I will ask the rest. Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you. Please, can you hear me? I have to switch device.
Yes, yes, sir. We can hear you, sir.
Oh, all right, thank you. So, how can you build a solid reading habit? You can build a solid reading habit by starting. I told you we started reading when we were young, just saw books in the house, just pick a book, and I tell you, lots of the things we read over time, we are seeing the manifestation today. Things I read like 20 years ago, I started writing down my thoughts, journaling when I was very young, still very, very young. Started writing, I had books. I used to write meaning of words, meaning of idioms as I read books, and lots of writing, 20, what is 20? Like 20 something years ago, 30 years ago, started reading. So you begin by starting. Then you can have a plan. You can have a reading plan no matter how busy. Yes, thank you, Fam Moses, for sharing. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So you can have a reading plan. You can decide that every day I'm going to read for at least 1 hour. In fact, you can start with 30 minutes. But please ensure you read. The mind is like the battery of a car. No matter how new the car is, no matter how beautiful the car is, if it is parked for a long time, it is gradually discharging. So don't allow your mind to discharge, and at a point the battery runs down. You come to, you turn the ignition, the car refuses to respond because the car has been left for some time. So just start. That is how to read. Then have a reading plan. The time that is most convenient for you. Like now as it is, I'm reading like three, books, maybe 3, 4 books at once. You can start with a book, then possibly start with a small book. You don't need to start with a very big book. Sometimes people are intimidated by big books. Start reading things that inspire you. Don't begin to read. If reading can become boring if you go and start reading something that is not an area of your interest. So I want to say, start small. Start by reading short contents, books that are not very big, books you can consume within a short time, your area of interest. They read things that, are of interest to you. Have a reading plan. Habits are very, very important, and they are built by starting small. You don't need to start big. If it is 30 minutes a day, as you read, you will want to read more. The more you read, you will want to read more. So this is how to actually build a solid reading life. Then associate with people that read. Associate with readers. Who are your friends? Are they people who are inspired by reading? Are they people who actually read books? So have friends that read. Work with people that read. Have a mentor that reads. It will rub off on you. So just ensure that habit is built. So in a nutshell, I've said, start small, brief time of reading, maybe 30 minutes a day, 1 hour, have a plan, or 1 hour. Read things, content that interest you, content that are related to your area of interest. You don't need to start by reading big books. You can start by reading smaller books, even if it is like 20 pages, things you can consume within a short time. And I've said, relate with readers, people that read, possibly submit to mentorship. Well, there are reading clubs. There used to be reading clubs. If you have one around you where they read relevant and good books, you can join such reading clubs. And I'm sure that you will build that lifestyle, consistent lifestyle of reading. So I don't know if I've actually touched that. So the second question, please, can you repeat the second question?
Yes, sir. Let me take. He says, is there any limit to learning? Is there any age limit to learning? Let me just add maybe two more so
I
to
can't
save
see
the
the chat.
time. So Tamba is asking us from Sierra Leone if there's any
Okay, yeah.
limit to learning. Then the next question is saying multiple streams of income. Sir, advise us on how. Smiley Emmanuel is asking how can we have multiple streams of income. And then I have a question about pivoting from one career line to another. We have a lot of young professionals who are stuck in a particular line. I studied maybe chemistry or physics or maybe maths or any field, but I feel my primary calling may not be in that field, or my primary area of strength is not in alignment with what I studied or what I have a degree or a certification in. What do I do? How do I re-engineer myself? The way that guy you said, business admin, is now an aeronautical engineer working with, the aviation sector as an engineer, not even as in the business or admin department. So how can someone who is just starting from scratch, maybe in final year or maybe a core member? Can you hear me, sir? Hello, sir. Can you hear me? So,
Yeah, your voice was
all right. If you had me, you can go ahead, sir.
very
It's
can you
like your network is breaking. Um, yes, now I can hear you.
breaking? But can you hear me? Can you hear me still?
Now I can hear you clearly. It was breaking before now. I don't know if you got the questions.
Whether there's to is it age limit now or a limit to learning? There's no limit. There's no age limit and there's no you can learn. So yours is to start. Don't make it so. You saw that post, you know that there's actually no limit to learning. There's no limit to learning. So there's no age limit. Don't be discouraged. Yours is to start. It's that will to start. As soon as you start, before you know it, you have learned what. Just have a timeline, maybe an annual timeline. Time yourself. Okay, what have I learned for this year 2026? What are the things I have learned? Just have that timeline and ensure that you follow it. By the end of the year, just examine yourself. Maybe by the end of 6 months, okay, what have I learned? What can I do with what I have learned? Then by the end of the year, you also evaluate yourself. Continues. We can see it from the examples of these great men, the Bill Gates, the Warren Buffett, and the rest of them. These men are still learning. So for them, learning has not come to an end, and learning doesn't come to an end. So learning does not have a limit. It doesn't have age limit. We see people going back even to the university. When we were saying if you live beyond your degree, people go back to the university at the age of 60. There is no limit, no age limit, and there's no limit to learning at all. Are we still there? Hello, Moses, can you hear me?
Thank you so much, sir. Yes, we have gotten the answers to there's no limit. Thank you.
Okay, so the other
All right. So it was breaking a bit.
question,
Go ahead, sir.
No, the other question, I didn't get you well. Then your voice network was breaking. My network was breaking.
All right. Very quickly, how to move from your area of academic qualification to your area of interest if that area of qualification is not the area of interest or opportunity, like the guy that did business admin that's now working as an aeronautical engineer, which you cited. And secondly, somebody asked on the
Yes.
chat how to have more streams of income, as how to activate more income streams. Those are the two final questions. Thank you, sir.
Okay. So how to move from your area of to your new field of interest or opportunity as a fresh graduate. Okay, since you are a fresh graduate, I think this is even easier for you. So how to move from your area of academic qualification to your new field of interest. Thank God for the internet. Now, the first thing, even before
All right. I want to believe there's no new question in the chat. If there's no new question in the chat, it means these two questions we're answering now are the final ones, and then we'll give a final closing announcement. So thankful for everyone that's on the call tonight, for the phenomenal time of learning together and the massive insights we have been receiving through our guest facilitator. Please, can I see your emojis flying if you are still here? We have learned one major principle that can really transform our life for the better. That if someone should meet you, they will not meet you on the same level. They met you yesterday. By the time they are meeting you today, they are meeting you on another level. You can see projected on the screen global billionaires, as busy as they are, they have time to sharpen and upgrade their minds. And this is so important. And the question about how to move, it's part of what we said about how to educate yourself. So you have to start giving yourself a new kind of education in the field you want to venture into. Educating yourself in that field will have to do with exposing yourself to information. And it is there under the slides that had to do with self-educating yourself, reading, journaling, personal experience, other experience, but I want to emphasize professional mentorship. If you want to pivot to a new career line, you want to switch to a new line of business, you want to start do something you've never done before, you need someone who have done it before to guide you. That's the quickest and the most accurate way, with razor-like precision, to minimize losses, minimize waste of time, and minimize error and regret. You are able to run as if you have been there for years. Run on the wisdom of someone who has been there before. So never be shy to ask questions, never be too proud to learn. That curiosity, that questioning. If there's a business doesn't move in so and so town, this town is not there's no money in such and such a place. It's a civil service state, as people say, describe certain places. You should ask why. Are people not eating there? Are they not moving from one place to another? Are people not going to school? Are they not providing medical services? No shelter, no clothing. There are opportunities everywhere. Definitely, there's no place where human beings are where there are no opportunities. So a re-engineering of our mindset, even about our location, where we are, is so important. So I want to emphasize again, mentorship, and the need to remain persistent. It takes a lot of mindset shift to say, I want to try again in a new field and in a new area of interest. And that mindset shift is possible if we believe in ourselves enough to stay on course and learn from other people's experiences. If there's no question again, I want to say a big thank you. Can I see our emojis flying to our guest facilitator, very, very, very distinguished PhD candidate, Mr. Abraham Ogenyi, for taking out time to bless us He has been an excellent man from the time I knew him. Excellent in every way. He keeps raising the bar, raising the bar, raising the bar. When I look at him, I say, God, help me. You need such people in your life. Anytime he opens his mouth to speak, so much wisdom, so much insight. Those of you that have asked me, what is my secret? The secret is there are no secrets. If you are just privileged to meet some people early in life, they put you on the speed lane of destiny. They put you on the speed lane of life. Yeah, it's an amplifier of your step. One step you take will look like 1,000 steps. You can't think like your mate. You can talk like your mate, because there's that matchless flow of wisdom and insight that you are connected to by virtue